In this video, we're going to look at how to set the default view for a particular manage or list page. So what I mean by that is, let's just go to the manage association page. So I'm going to go to association, manage associations, and notice by default, all of the filters up here at the top, none are selected, and then no results are displayed here. This is actually by design. So the idea is, instead of displaying a list of data that you don't really want, we're going to let you first filter that data, and then you can display it. So if I want to see all this information, I can just click search at this point, and then boom, I've got 224 items across 9 pages. But now let's say, instead of having a blank page when you come to this, you want to always start off with a particular view. Like, for example, in this view, we're seeing associations, both that we manage and ones that we do not manage. So if all I care about are the properties that are currently under management, I can set that filter, the manage status. I'm going to say manage, and I'm going to hit search. So now the page changes. So now we're showing 108 associations that we currently manage. So now the next time I come into this page, it's not going to remember these filters, and I'm going to have to reset that dropdown each time I come in. Well, instead of that, you can also save the current state of this filter by going out to the gear icon and clicking on Save Query. What this is going to do, it's going to ask me for a title. I'm going to say Active Associations. So I just gave it a name, and when I hit save, it's going to remember that particular query is Active Associations. So now when I go back in, I should now see a run query, and I can click on Active Associations. It's then going to remember the state that I had up here, all the filters, whatever they were, and that's the query that I'm going to run. So going back, if I start back off at the home page, and if I come back into the Manage Association page, you'd see that it's still didn't default to anything. I'd have to then click Run Query and hit Active Associations, and then it's there. So I can always select whatever query I want. I can have 1 query, I can have 10 queries. It's totally up to you. But now, if let's say I always, when I come into this page, I want it always to default this way. I always want it to default to this query. So what you can do here is, on that particular query, this run query, you have this star. So you can click the star. That's going to make it yellow. So what that does, that makes this particular query the default for this particular page. So now you can see that this Active Associations query is the default for the page. So now when I go out to home, or just any other page, and I come back into that association page, it should now default to that query and show me only the active associations when I come in. But I think I have to log out first. So let me go ahead and log out and then log back in. And that query setting should be saved. And also that query setting, that default filter, only applies to this particular logged in user. It only applies to me. And again, that allows a particular user to customize their particular starting view when they're looking at a particular page. So now if I go to Association, Manage Association, it should now default, and I see that the management status is already set, and there's data is already loaded. So it saves me a couple of steps of having to select that query and then hit go. So that is the way that you can set that default, and also how to save a particular query. Now, the information that's saved, it's the filters up top. It also saves the column names, and it's also going to save any kind of sorting that you have set up. So if you wanted to change it, so when you first came in, it always sorts in descending order by the ID. So what this allows you to do is give me the newest associations first. So if I click it again, I now have, starting at the top, 16,196. Now I can go out and I can save this query. We'll call it active newest first. I'll hit save. And now notice I now have 2 queries in my list. I'm going to change the default one to be the active newest first. There we go. And now when I log back out and I come back in and I go back out to the associations page, I should see the newest active associations by default. So it remembers that. But you can always go out to any other saved query by going run query. Now I can do active associations and it runs that query as well. So that is how you can change the default behavior of any particular page. And again, that functionality with the run query applies to every single list page or manage page that's in UManage. And that's the end of this video.